erythrocyte sedimentation rate. So basically it is also called ESR. So you guys can get a question in the exam of why the ESR is increased during the inflammation. So basically you guys have to remember the basic concept. Normally the RBCs are not going to stick with each other. Normally, let's suppose this is the one RBC and this is the second RBC. These RBCs are not going to stick with each other. Why? Because the RBCs are negative cell membrane. So when the RBCs have negative membrane, so it's mean negative repel each other. So that's why they mention normally the RBCs remain separated by negative charges. So it's mean normally the RBCs are not going to stick with each other. But what happened during inflammation? During the inflammation, there is a production of fibrinogen. This fibrinogen will go and coat the RBC. Let's suppose this is the RBC and this is the negative charge. So when the inflammation is occurred in your body, there is production of fibrinogen. This fibrinogen will come and coat this RBC. So when you coat this RB, it's mean these negative charges are going to be covered. So there are decreased amount of negative charges. So when the negative charges are going to be decreased, these RBCs are going to stick with each other. When the RBCs are stick with each other, it will lead to RBCs accumulation, which is called RBCs aggregation. So this is the important point. So when you are taking the blood of the person during the inflammation, so during the inflammation, you put this you can say in the pipette tube during the, you can say, the test, these RBCs are going to aggregate with each other. So when the RBCs are going to aggregate with each other, that will lead to increase ESR. So they can ask from you this in exam, what is the mechanism why the ESR is going to be increased. So simple, you guys have to remember this. During the inflammation, fibrinogen is going to produce. That fibrinogen will go and coat the RBCs. When the RBCs are coated, their negative charge is going to be decreased. When the RBC's negative charge is going to be decreased, the RBCs are trying to stick with each other. That will lead to RBCs aggregation, and that RBCs aggregation will lead to increase ESR. So this is the important, you can say, the concept. Then after that, you guys have to remember the C-reactive protein is also increased during the inflammation, and is the specific marker for inflammation. And often and more commonly when we are doing the ESR, we are also checking this C-reactive protein, because these both are the inflammatory markers. Then this is very important. They can ask from you in exam, what are the examples in which the ESR is going to produce in more amount. So if you have the anemia, the ESR is going to be produced more. If you have the infection, the ESR is going to produce more. If you have the inflammation like giant cell temporal arteritis, polymyalgia rheumatica, if you have the cancer like metastasis of cancer or multiple myeloma, if you have the renal disease like end-stage renal disease or nephrotic syndrome, and if you have the pregnancy. So basically these are the examples in which in your body the ESR count can be increased. Then again, what are the examples in which ESR is going to be decreased? So if you have sickle cell anemia, in sickle cell anemia, the shape of the RBCs are going to be altered, and if the shape of the RBCs are going to be altered, the RBCs are not going to stick with each other. Then in the polycythemia, basically there is increased amount of RBC cells that will lead to dilution, and when the dilution will occur, there is the less amount of aggregation. Then after that, we have heart failure, microcytosis, and hypofibrinogenemia. So basically these are the examples in which the ESR is going to be decreased in our body. So please keep these things in mind. These are the very important MCQs that can be asked from you in exam.